Hello, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon, possibly even good evening. We'd like to thank you for joining us for this preview into 2016 Flex. This is Heidi Hoffman, Senior Director at FlexTech. Joining me is Mike Szynski, President of the FlexTech Group, a semi-strategic association partner. Between the staff here and our fantastic steering committee, we've designed an event this year that highlights the rapid technology development in our sector of flexible hybrid, flexible printed electronics. We have 1 week left to prepare, and we're very excited to see most of you, or many of you, in Monterey in, let's see, a little more than a week, huh, Mike?
Exactly so.
Okay. So others on the line might still be wondering why they should attend the event, and it's you that this call was planned for. We wanted to have this opportunity to give you some insights into what to expect at the event. So let's dive right into some questions. I'm going to do a little quiz here for Mike, barely rehearsed, so you never know what you're going to hear. And then you guys are invited, anyone on the phone is invited to enter their questions into the little question panel on the control panel. And we will get to those afterwards. Thank you also for your questions during registration time. We'll try to cover most of those here, but if you don't hear something, just click on that question box and it will be forwarded to us. All right, so Mike, can you tell me why we're opening with a speaker from the Department of Defense's Manufacturing Technology Program, Ms. Adele Radcliffe, and what insights do you think she'll share with us?
Thank you, Heidi, and good morning. It's always a pleasure for me to have the opportunity to engage not only with our members, but with guests who are coming to our Flex conference, our webinars and workshops. So I'm kind of used to Mike and Mike in the morning, the sports talk radio. This will be a little bit of Mike and Heidi. We're going to try to keep this informal and, again, answer any questions that you may have. Heidi, I think, opening up with a question about what our opening is at the Flex conference in less than a week's time, it's a great place to start. The simple fact is that Adele Radcliffe, who is with the Manufacturing Technology Organization within the Department of Defense, has under her purview 7 of the new Manufacturing Innovation Institutes, or MIIs, that are, if you will, a signature of the Obama administration's commitment to restoring manufacturing in the U.S. These include institutes. The first one got started in 3D printing. There are other ones on power semiconductors, lightweight metals, and of course we were pleased last year to win an award for the Flexible Hybrid Electronics Manufacturing Institute. It's also a political year, let's just face that. There's lots of discussions about jobs creation, manufacturing, national defense. So this is not, first of all, it's not a political talk. It's more a talk, I believe, about what the strategy is to address dual-use needs in the U.S. and how government investment can help not really sustain an industry, but it can help industries get started, which is a proper role of government, that is the investment of research and development. So you can look about this talk about in the context of onshoring, bringing former manufacturing opportunities back to the U.S. And in the case of, for example, flexible hybrid electronics, new opportunities to do this. Manufacturing, frankly, is a big deal. It's a big discussion point with a number of people. And we're very pleased that Adele Radcliffe has accepted our invitation and will be able to describe to our audience why these new manufacturing institutes can be a seminal part of the U.S. manufacturing strategy.
Great. I, too, am looking forward to that one. She's a great speaker, and I think a good way to kick off the day. So how about the rest of the keynotes? What are you most jazzed about getting a clearer picture into?
First of all, I just want to acknowledge the wonderful advisory committee that we have who has helped us put together the conference. Sometimes it just seems it's all Flex Tech and our team members doing this, but we've got a great circle of companies and R&D organizations that we work with. So in addition to Adele Radcliffe speaking on the DoD Manufacturing Technology Program, we're delighted that Tolas Votsis from Sharp Labs will be presenting on the whole hybrid electronics ecosystem last year at SemiCon West, a semi-production, Tolis gave a talk on hybrid electronics. He's expanding that, and I think people will really see the big picture. So we're excited about that opportunity. We then shift. We're going to be looking at printing because this is also part of a electronic printing or printed electronics conference. Nancy Ferris, Director of Technology at Eastman Kodak, will be talking about using graphic printing for electronics. And then Flex International, the former Flextronics, will give us a presentation on wearable products. So this will end the first part of the morning session. The second part of the morning session is, I think, equally compelling. We've got Steve Willoughby from DuPont, who will be giving us a view of the smart electronics textiles industry. A lot of interest, and indeed one of the new manufacturing institutes that's being competed is for revolutionary type of fibers and textiles. Thibault Lesiguion from Heliotech will give us a talk about product that's actually moving into the market, organic solar films. You've got any number of demonstration facilities. We always try to have a talk, Heidi, about business development. And this year we're pleased to invite ID TechX, the noted market research firm. So for those business development professionals who are looking to come to the conference and walk away with that, if you will, that information that's going to help develop a business plan or justify an investment, and in addition, if you will, perhaps in capital or in personnel, you'll certainly want to pay attention to the ID TechX talk that will size up the market. And then finally, our call for papers was exceptionally strong this year, the most that we've ever received. And out of that, we've got a very interesting talk that we moved up into the keynote session, which is building self-diagnostic fly-by-feel vehicles with stretchable, flexible sensors. It's a mouthful, indeed, but it's very visionary. We just think the audience is going to kind of step back and say, wow, you know, there are certain products that, yeah, you can kind of see how they would work. But if you really want to think about the future, we also want to put the Flex Conference foremost in people's thinking about the future. And this paper from and presentation from Stanford University really should be able to do that. We're quite excited about it.
Yeah, and that's Stanford and a couple of companies that are combined on that paper. And I think it's really going to be something stretching people's minds a little bit on what can be done. So after the keynotes, of course, we break into 3 parallel tracks right there on Tuesday, excuse me. So meaning that attendees must pick and choose. I get a lot of grumbles about this because attendees don't want to have to choose between 2 topics they really want to hear more and learn more about. What do you tell them, Mike?
Well, I get that feedback too, and I think yeah, that's an indirect way of complimenting us on a very compelling agenda. And again, kudos to our advisory committee. You know, the short answer is bring a colleague. There are wonderful sessions, and you can't be in 2 places at one time. It defies the laws of physics. I've been taught, and so that's one way to do it. But of course, you know, that's kind of a short answer. The good news is, and being serious for a moment, the presentations will be downloaded and available each day, or available each day at the end of each session. So even if the presentation got tweaked during the day, we give all of our registrants the opportunity to download the presentations in the evening so that you can look at them real time, make notes that you may have in your notebooks from the day, share them with your colleagues. And then the third thing I would advise is take a look at the agenda. It's online. Plan your day carefully. It's not unusual for people to hear one paper or one presentation in one session and then jump to a different session to hear another one and then come back or even go on to the third one. That's frankly the utility of the Flex Conference. It's, no pun intended, very flexible.
And you know how we take pride when we hear the clapping of the audience from room 1, room 2 at the exact same time. Those chairs of those sessions get gold stars.
Exactly so, and there's always people then rushing over to try to hear that particular speaker or catch him or her for a networking opportunity.
Great, great. Okay, so the short courses, I think we have a great mix, but it's changed this year. Can you describe some of the value of the new courses that we've added? I have not seen a couple of these on the list.
Well, before we talk about new, let's talk about not old but veteran. We'll open up with short courses on Monday. There are 5 of them this year, so literally the whole day is devoted to short courses. We always have a very strong audience for our course of Introducing Printed Electronics, All the Basics and More. This typically, registers 35, 40, I think we've had as high as 50 or 60 people. So we brought it back again, and the registration numbers look particularly strong for printed electronics. The second course in the morning, so again, you're going to have to choose. As we move forward with some of our more mature research and development programs, because FlexTech is also an R&D consortium, we've had a lot of our members come to us and say, look, can you start explaining to us technology readiness levels and manufacturing readiness levels and how these are viewed within the industry. So for the first time, we've started a short course. It's called Getting Ready for Readiness, the Fundamentals of TRLs and MRLs. And again, there's always there's strong registration for this as well. The afternoon, it's going to be a tough choice again. There is a course for the first time on flexible hybrid electronics, or FHE, because again, we've moved into that space with our new manufacturing institute and other research and development programs that we have underway at FlexTech. So FHE will be a course. I referred earlier to a presentation in our keynote from Steve Willoughby of DuPont. We're also going to have a short course that will be the fusion of fashion and function, which is textiles as an electronic platform. And we think this will really be a very illuminating course, and it will show, if you will, one of the adjacent markets that we're looking at, which is smart textiles and revolutionary fibers. And then our third course on Monday afternoon is 3D printing, and you may say, okay, well, why 3D printing? There's a lot of it out there. Well, we have a very strong instructor team led by Joey Mead from the University of Massachusetts at Lowell. This specific is 3D printing on plastics, developments and trends. Lowell has received, I believe, a National Science Foundation grant to develop this technology, and they'll be sharing some of the research results. And as an added benefit, and only in the 3D printing on plastics short course, there'll be a networking reception afterwards. So if you're a person who wants to either learn more about it, if you're part of that community already, I encourage you to sign up for 3D printing on plastics, because it comes with a free reception afterwards.
And then plus our welcome reception is that evening immediately following that. So
tremendous networking opportunities galore at the Flex Conference 2016.
Which one are you most looking forward to?
I look forward to them all. It's always a great opportunity to see folks who we haven't seen in some time, to reestablish connections, and to those people who we're working with. It's just a good opportunity to, if you will, take a deep breath, relax a little bit before we get into 3 days of very intense conferencing and exhibits.
Good point. This is the 15th year of the Flex Conference. How is it different than other years?
Oh, wow. Each year it really is different, particularly, I think, over the past 5 years. Some may recall that we started this conference to talk about flex displays. I think that was the initial title of the conference 15 years ago. And we're still not quite there with flex displays, but boy, have we broadened the technology and the market opportunity. Heidi, I think the last 4 years, as you know, we've had some important things happen with FlexTech, and we've been able to take those good things and move them into the Flex Conference to benefit our community. 3 years ago, we announced a nano-bio manufacturing consortium, a competitive award that FlexTech won from the Air Force Research Lab. So over those last 2 or 3 years, we've introduced the topics of nano-bio and nano-bio manufacturing into the Flex Conference to broaden, if you will, the scope of the conference, and indeed bring in even more subject matter experts. So that was the NBMC activity the last 2 or 3 years. Again, referring to NextFlex, which is the new Flexible Hybrid Electronics Manufacturing Institute, we have multiple sessions this year focused on flexible hybrid electronics. So it can be described various ways, but if you will, it includes traditional semiconductor manufacturing, thin silicon devices, incorporated onto a flexible substrate with other key components. So we think that that adds another new element to the Flex conference. It's always keeping it's fresh. It's pushing, if you will, the boundaries of what we're talking about in the flexible electronic space. And of course, bringing in new companies, new R&D organizations, and some university-based research as well.
Well said. Thanks. Thank you. Slight change of focus here. As you know, as many of you know, FlexTech is now a strategic association partner of SEMI. Mike, how is that reflected in the conference?
Well, we're pleased that our new affiliation with SEMI, which was announced in October of last year, and some changes, Heidi, over time will be subtle, where some of our SEMI colleagues will be joining us at the event to help us assess it and see how it could be improved, everything from the exhibit space to the technical conference itself.
Yeah, because most people know SEMI as a SEMICON
exactly.
provider, right?
Right. So they have excellent capabilities in this area. We think that over time we'll be able to even draw in more international experts and international visitors to the Flex conference because SEMI is known for its global platforms. And drilling down even deeper, because of this new affiliation, we have put in a session this year that will focus specifically on standards, which is a strength of SEMI, and technology roadmaps. SEMI will be one of the speakers along with other industry trade associations, and it's focused specifically on the flexible electronics industry, who's developing roadmaps, what kind of roadmaps are they, how can they be improved, how can more participation be encouraged, and then following that, about 6 weeks or so ago, SEMI and FlexTech, along with a couple of other trade associations, had a survey in the field among people in the industry, both on the user side as well as a supply chain side, that seek to unearth, if you will, some ideas about what could be done in the standardization area that would move the industry along and make sure that it's moving along a path for economical manufacturing. So we're going to share some of the results of that survey as well. So I think you know, the impact of SEMI on FlexTech is tremendous, and I think in future years we'll definitely be able to see some of the strength that SEMI has brought to the Flex conference.
Thanks. It's a bit of a toughie. Due to the construction on the exhibit hall at the conference center, of course, across the street from the Marriott, we have a very intimate show this year. Can you give the audience and attendees an idea of what to expect from the exhibit area?
I can, and let me back up that question a little bit. One of the hallmarks of the Flex conference, we believe, is that the settings that we have picked, it was primarily in Phoenix and different settings, in the Phoenix area, Arizona, for any number of years, and then last year in Monterey. What our registrants have told us is that they're looking for an atmosphere that promotes networking, that promotes discussions, and they really resonated with the move last year to Monterey, and we had a very, again, a very successful event. The slight downside, and it's only a one-year hiccup, is that indeed the Monterey Conference Center is undergoing construction, so it really constrained us in our exhibits this year. Nonetheless, we do have a very strong team of exhibitors, and I would encourage all of our registrants to visit with them. Of course, we have traditional exhibitors who have been with us since the inception. DuPont Agent Films is a good example. They make the substrates for many of the applications in the industry. At the other end, we'll have a company like E-Ink, who make electrophoretic displays primarily for the e-reader market, but they're moving into lots of other markets as well. So everything from the supply chain to the end users, and in between we'll have very strong companies. Applied Materials, for example, a SEMI member, is exhibiting, I think, for the first time in a while, and we're delighted to have a company like Applied. But I think, Heidi, that you know, I know you've been working this list and informing our potential registrants of who some of our exhibitors are. You got the list in front of you. Who else is going to be there?
Yeah, well, I think Novacentrics always puts on a good show. They've always got something new to talk about. I'm pretty excited about hearing more how the development of the 3D tool, 3D printing tool with NScript and Novacentric under the FlexTech contract is going. Sarah Drop is, again, another company that's been active in that printing space, so kind of coming from a different perspective here with, you know, they cover so many different markets that they can really bring lessons learned in, and I think those guys have a very interesting perspective and are easy to talk to and fun to chat with. Another company you mentioned, Molex, formerly Sology. You know, they're just, again, doing some really exciting things on the application space. And so they're integrating some new types of materials and new applications, new capabilities into the flexible substrate products. So I think they've got a lot of good ideas and a lot of knowledge now on processing, again, through the FlexTech contract that we went with them. New Way Air Bearings, Drew and his team, they look at things from a different perspective, and I think they'll be interesting. Colon, a leading chemical and materials company, is back in the show after a few years. We're quite excited to have them too. So those are just some of the folks that I'm interested in. The show floor is going to be, you know, like you said, kind of takes me back a little bit back to the earlier days of the Flex conference, where you had more chance to be in a quiet space with an exhibitor and have a nice one-on-one conversation. So
yeah, I think we found over the years that it's among the best places to do networking.
Definitely what I've heard. I'm on board with that comment. All right. So let's see. We are at 53, so we really wanted to keep this to half an hour for everyone. Let's get to a couple of audience questions. How about this one? If someone's interested in market stats and analysis, which session should they attend?
Well, there are a couple to attend. First of all, the keynotes are strong, and as we mentioned, ID Tech X will be giving a summary of the flexible and hybrid electronics market. Jennifer Colgrove from Touch Display Research, it will be in the Touch and Flex Display session, and Jennifer always has great market data and key insights into the market. Mm-hmm. So I think those are two examples. There are others throughout the conference.
Yep, I think Lux Research is in one of those sessions, and Yole is also going to be there.
Yes. So in addition to people who are presenting, Heidi mentioned a couple of the others, Lux and others. We do find that the conference attracts market analysts as well. So again, networking and opportunity to get the latest information on market developments.
Yeah, there's always there's a couple press people coming as well. Solid State Technology and of course PE Now and Ink World Now are all going to be on board. They are and the attendee list I want to mention. We've actually made the the company attendee list available. As people register, they get added to that list if they said they we can put their name up there. There's plenty who said we haven't. But if anybody wants to take a quick look at the attendee list, it's on the website under the Registered Attendees tab. So that's, of course, people who just given us permission. So that's not everybody.
So they can go to flexconference.org and see the companies, R&D organizations, and others, universities will be attending?
Absolutely. You know, and thanks for reminding me. My our registration staff would be listening intently for me to mention that please, we highly suggest registering ahead of time. On-site lines are not pretty, as well as our intimate, or not fun, as well as our intimate registration area is not going to make for very convenient lines this year. So please do register ahead of time so we can have your badge ready and your check-in will be painless and easy. So let's go back to these questions. Mike, one, are you enabling national or international collaboration at this event?
Definitely, Heidi. We, the attitude we have at FlexTech is all are welcome, and particularly international visitors. We try to extend a very special and warm welcome to them. So if there are folks here on the call who are interested in what's going on or in other places of the world, we're just some of the organizations who will be presenting include the Fraunhofer Institute, the Whole Center, VTT out of Finland. These are noted R&D organizations in Europe for organic electronics, flexible electronics, and they'll be sharing some of the results of their R&D and prototype manufacturing. We have a strong representation from the National Research Council from Canada. In addition to that, we'll have the MEMS industry group presenting, and from the U.S., the National Institute of Standards and Technology. So those are just 4 or 5 examples of the international flavor that always characterizes the Flex conference.
Good, thanks. In our little presentation here, I just ran across this slide on the Flexi Awards. Would you like to say a word or two about that?
I would. We started the Flexi Awards, maybe 10 years or so ago, to recognize developments in the industry, and the same invitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so other groups have followed, which is great. But we're particularly proud of the fact that people use the Flexis in multiple ways. I've actually gone into offices and corporate offices, and they always have the showcases. And if they want a Flexi Award, that Flexi Award is in their corporate showcase. So we've gotten research proposals where people have cited that FlexTech gave us a Flexi and are using it as endorsement. We even know that people who are out, if you will, raising venture capital are using the fact of a FlexTech R&D award, and if they've received a Flexi as, if you will, a validation point in talking with the financial community. So they're very important. They will be awarded at the industry dinner on Wednesday evening, and to me, they're always this event, the dinner itself, and the awarding of the Flexis is always a highlight of the Flex Conference week.
Yeah, we had a really impressive set of nominations this year. It was as difficult as ever for the judges, our independent panel of judges, to come up with the winners. So excited about the group this year and looking forward to highlighting them. Okay, if someone only has one day to attend, which day should they? And is there one-day pricing?
Well, the easy answer is yes. There's one-day pricing. So if your schedule is totally packed and you can only come for one day, yes, we do have the availability for that. Taking one day over another is extremely hard. But I would, to try to be helpful, if someone is looking for sort of the big picture, what does flexible electronics look like in, if you will, the grander scale, then certainly Tuesday, where we have about 8 or so keynote or plenary presentations on Tuesday morning from 8 a.m. to roughly 12:30 or so, is where you'd want to attend. The deep dive into the technical sessions takes place on Tuesday afternoon, all of Wednesday, and most of Thursday. So again, I would encourage everyone to visit the Flex Conference website, flexconference.org, take a look at the agenda, and come for all the days. But if you can only come for one, you can certainly hone in on a particular agenda that will benefit you and your company as you come down and participate in this great event.
Speaking of setting your own agenda based on your interests, we tried to do that based on some of the more popular attendee profiles. And so we've made those available, kind of a customized itinerary for, say, a process engineer or a device integration person or a business development person. So those customized itineraries are available on the website as well. So get on there. We've tried to make things easy, especially for those who aren't familiar with the conference. Okay, we're running out of time here. I think we've got pretty good. How about this one? How many attendees will you have? As a closing comment. Oh, thanks, Mike.
Well, I know you're monitoring that on a daily basis. So I'd just soon give you the last word. I would, before I close, to just, Monterey is a wonderful place to visit any time of the year. And Heidi, can you tell us how many people we're expecting to come down to the Flex Conference?
We're psyched. This is going to be the biggest Flex Conference ever. I think we're on track to beat our other records, which totally coincides with our call for paper, the interest in the call for papers this year. It's clearly a reflection on the maturity of the maturing nature of this industry. Every year is just getting bigger and bigger. So you're going to meet a lot of people there, Mike.
I'm excited about it, Heidi, and the opportunity. It was great to chat with you this morning about the Flex Conference.
Yeah, thanks to technology. I hope everyone learned something about the event and are as excited about it as we are. So thanks very much. And these not only will of course we got a question about the slides from the webinar. Not only will the slides be posted, but the entire webinar and all of our audio glory will be online for you to download and share with as many people as you would like. So thank you very much for joining us this morning, and we look forward to seeing you in Monterey.